video on the dark-sided Virgo woman. These women are very insecure. They are kind of sex crazy. And a lot of what I say about the Virgo woman can go to the Virgo man as well. So the Virgo woman is really insecure. She could be kind of sex crazy. And she's very unhappy and she's very miserable. Even if she seems to have it together. Virgo people, earth signs, are known to put on a good front, but so even if they're married or have money, or sometimes they're not in a happy marriage and they're broke, but they will still make it seem like they have money. They could put up a front, but let's say even if they're happy and have money, are married, they will still be very miserable people. There's a sign of perfection. So they always want what they can't have. They kind of remind me of the Sagittarius. They always think the grass is greener on the other side. They always want what they can't have. So even if they're married, they have money, and they befriend you, they're still jealous of, they're very insecure, unhappy. So they will still be jealous of your money. You know, if they're married and they befriend you, they will still be jealous of your partner. So they'll be, if you notice like them trying to one-up you, being jealous, or just trying to one-up you, criticizing you. I mean, Virgos are the sign of criticism, but they do it, but if they're doing it very harshly to you, then that means that Virgo doesn't really like you and they're doing it on purpose. They're also very passive aggressive, so they're not going to admit what they're doing. They're passive aggressive, so they're very insecure, very jealous people. So if you get close to a Virgo woman, even the Virgo man pertains to all of this. So if you get close to them, you'll notice that they try to one-up you. If you go on a trip, they'll be talking bad about, they won't tell you. Let's say you're going to Mexico, but they'll say, you know, Mexico is very dangerous, or, but I'm not talking about you though. I'm just saying that Mexico is really dangerous. I'm not talking about you. Very passive aggressive like that. And if you do get close to them, if you notice them flirting with your spouse, texting your spouse, if they're single, you really need to watch out. If they're married, you still need to watch out, because they are sex freaks. They're really insecure and jealous. So if you befriend a Virgo woman and she's married, she's always very insecure, so always wanting what they can't have, and very insecure, gets very jealous right away. So if you befriend a Virgo and she's married, but yet she starts flirting with your spouse, texting your spouse, is because they're very insecure, jealous. Hello, I wanted to finish the video. So the dark side of Virgo, I wouldn't trust them. I think I was talking about how insecure and jealous they could be. But even if they have their own marriage, money, or things, a lot of the times it's a front. Earth signs, sometimes they could put up a front. They're not really happy in their marriage, or they don't have like money. They could be broke, but they put up a really good front. But let's say she is happy in her relationship, or money, or marriage, or whatever. She's very insecure and jealous. So if you befriend her, she will still be, you know, jealous of your man, of your money, of your car, especially if you have a better lifestyle than her, a better house than her, a better material items. If you're on the same stage as her, and this goes for the Virgo man as well, because Virgo is very feminine. So if you're at the same stage as her, she's still going to be jealous. It's a very insecure woman. So if you're at the same thing, going to be competing with you a lot, she will still be very jealous. If you're beneath her, she loves that. She loves to be around people who are beneath her. It kind of feeds her ego, very insecure and jealous. So she loves to be around people who are beneath her. She'll laugh, and you'll notice, like, you never get support from them. She'll mainly laugh or give you a smirk, and it's like, it makes them feel good that they're better than you. But if you're on the same wavelength as them, or if you're better than them, she will be pissed. She will be extremely jealous, extremely, and you'll notice it because they're very manly. They're kind of like the Sag woman with their competitiveness. It's like, kind of comes off as, even though it's a feminine sign, comes off very masculine, and you're gonna know. And by the way, if you are not a dark side of Virgo, because I have a niece who is a Virgo, and she's actually my favorite niece. So if you are not on the dark side, then this video doesn't really pertain to you. You know, a lot of bad stuff they say about my sign, but I've learned my lessons in life, and yeah, so this is the dark side, okay? So, she, so yeah, so just know, if she is being criticizing you, she's saying she's doing it to help you, but it's because she's insecure and jealous of you. So she'll be heavily criticizing you. The Virgo man could do this too. Um, but it's funny to her. It's a power thing with her. She wants to feel like she's better than you. It's a power thing, and she'll be saying it's to help you. They're very passive aggressive. They're not going to be upfront about their anger and jealousy. They're not going to be upfront about it. She'll be smirking at you a lot, very cowardly. They could be very cowardly. They could lie a lot. You could know things, but they could lie, be very cowardly. They could copy you a lot. Before I get into that, though, with this whole thing with being competitive and stuff, she could fuck your man, even if she's married. Even if she's married, okay? Even if she's married for 20 years, and you befriend her and you're on the same level as her, or even worse, higher than her, she will try to fuck your man. Be, she will be coming over a lot, and the reason why I say this is because they are extremely insecure and jealous. So even though she has her own marriage and man, she's your friend and she's coming over, you'll notice. So you'll notice that she'll start texting, flirting with your man, and you may be thinking this woman has her own marriage, her own. It's because they're insecure and they're jealous. Kind of reminds me of the Sag man and woman, where they always want what they can't have, or they always think the grass is greener on the other side. So even if she has her own marriage and money, she'll always be looking at her friends and family's marriages and money, and just, they're the sign of perfectionists. So nothing seems to be perfect. So they're always looking at their friends and family, being in competition. Also with these women, I noticed that they can be jealous of younger women. So if it's an older Virgo, she could be extremely jealous of younger women. I mean, I have an older Virgo, and she's very envious of a younger girl, kind of like in her 40s, and the younger girl's like 18. Very jealous of her, you know, getting down her boyfriend's number again. You know, these women are very miserable. They're miserable women, very insecure and miserable. And they kind of have an obsession. They will kind of obsess over the people. They're just very insecure, makes them very jealous, and they'll be obsessed with you. And they will get down your man's number and go behind your back and do all these things. Very miserable, very obsessed, very neurotic and crazy, even. So but they tend to have a clean reputation. They will never admit to any of this. And a way to piss them off is you could put them on blast, because they will pretend like they're represented by the version, so the sign. So they'll pretend like they are a practical, but really they're very miserable, insecure, crazy, very miserable woman, insecure and jealous woman, and crazy, neurotic. They could really beat the crap out of somebody, and it's really over dumb stuff, because they're just so insecure and jealous. You know, it doesn't make sense, but they're so insecure and jealous. That's why. Okay. So very jealous of younger women. And I noticed that, trying to get the boyfriend's number, trying to, probably trying to bully or mess with her, criticize her. But the Virgo woman is like 40 something and the young girl's 18. You can't really, as an older woman like that, you can't really compare yourself to a younger girl who's pretty, who's skinny. And the older Virgo in her 40s is like 300 pounds. And you can't compare yourself to an 18-year-old who is skinny and pretty. But these people are very crazy, jealous, insecure, and they will compete with they'll compete with kids. Even kids. Even kids who are 4 years old, 6 years old, they could tend to get jealous of and criticize them. I feel like Virgos, and this is the dark side, because Virgos are the service, so they could be really good moms and stuff. But I'm saying this is the dark side. They could be child abusers because they do tend to lack emotion, and they're all about logic. And the planet Mercury is logic and the planet of communication. So they Virgos tend to lack emotions, and they could be about logic, and they could be insecure and jealous. So they could be child abusers if that Virgo has a stepchild or even their own family and friends. They could be child abusers. They could compete with children and younger women. If they're an older woman, they could compete with younger women. Even the Virgo men could compete with younger men. If they have kids, they'll be very competitive, always competing. It's like, these people tend to lack peace. They tend to lack contentment. They are perfectionists. So they tend to overdo it, and it just becomes too much. And then it could be a good way. Like Kobe Bryant's a Virgo, and he's a legend. He didn't really get along with Shaq or anything because he was trying to be the best. And that's good. But when you take it so far in your personal life to sleep with your best friend's man or do all these crazy things, Virgos will tend to take it this far in their personal life, and it just doesn't make sense. They could be kind of crazy because they rule the neurotic system. So they could criticize you for like 30 minutes or days and days, even makes up stuff about you, because the planet of communication, go watch Mercury in the solar system. It's the planet of communication. It's going really fast. So they could gossip a lot about you. They could even make up stuff about you. So they could make up stuff about you. And they'll talk about family members and friends so bad and just make up stuff about them and just talk about them so bad, and then they'll befriend you'll see them with that same person, and they'll act like so down to earth, so cool, and you're like, was this the same person that they were going mad hard on, like talking major crap on? That's why I don't really trust Virgo people, because they'll be really cool to you and smile at you, be so cool to you, and behind closed doors with their spouse, they will talk the most crap about you. They could be kind of two-faced, and they won't admit it, and they'll smile in your face and act like the coolest person, but when they get home, they're laughing, being real sinister. Real sinister. Making up stuff. I had a Virgo woman who was jealous, and she was overweight, so she was just really jealous and focused on that, and she made up a lot of things about me. She said when I was younger, I was a little girl, like in middle school, she told people that I was raped, that I had anxiety problems, so that means I'm gonna kill people, and crazy weird things. Like I was a freshman. No, I was a freshman in high school, and as a freshman girl in high school, I was more concerned with my friends and like guys that you're talking to. But this older Virgo woman who was like 300 pounds, and she's like 48 years old, she likes to compete with younger people, younger girls, and very jealous of them. So they'll make up stuff about you. A Virgo girl who is an example, the singer Selena Quintanilla. The girl that killed her was a Virgo woman. And if you see pictures of Selena Quintanilla and her killer, Selena was young, beautiful, rich, and the girl was a Virgo, and she was old. And I have a feeling that she was just so envious that Selena was beautiful and had more money than her. Virgo, she was even trying to steal Selena's money at the end. And they caught on to it. She didn't want to admit it. Virgos could be kind of cowardly like that. So she was stealing money but didn't want to admit to it, even though they had proof. They could be kind of cowardly. And denying everything. Selena Quintanilla was an Aries, so they're very straight up. And Virgos could be passive aggressive. So but Virgos are very crazy. They're neurotic. They rule the nervous system. They could throw in the stomach. So the nervous system in the stomach, they could throw up a lot. They can get nervous, suffer from anxiety, neurotic. They could go crazy, and they have no emotions. So imagine Selena confronting the Virgo woman who's so envious of her. You can't. They don't have that in them, like the peace and contentment. They don't have that quality, and they don't have the acceptance of life. Like, you gotta know your place. You can't compete with Selena. She's young. You can't compete. But the Virgo woman was probably trying to compete with her, probably trying to steal money from her and compete with her, very jealous of her, couldn't handle it, and ended up shooting Selena. Okay, they could go crazy. So even if you know what you could do to get back at them, because they could talk about you, they could say the most hurtful things to you. 30 minutes just saying hurtful. If you tell them one thing, they're neurotic, so they'll go crazy. They don't know how to deal with it. It could be very dangerous too, though. They could be killers. They could be killers just because the sign of Virgo lacks emotion. It's all logic in their head. You know the killer, they have, not Jeffrey Dahmer, but they have a Netflix series about him. um Jeffrey Dahmer. I think it was Jeffrey Dahmer. He's a Virgo, and they could also use people for money. Put a lot of people in their homes and charge them a lot of, like, charge them all rent and just lie. They could do a lot of lying. They could scam, create all these fundraisers. They're like the other earth signs. So the sign of Capricorn and Taurus could be the same way, and they could go spend their money and act like they're middle class or just be spending it. They're good savers sometimes, but they could be just lying a lot, saying they're saving. They're really spending all the money.